Okay, I have no idea what's happening. That's as high as you go. I have no idea what's happening, I'll be honest. It says I'm streaming on everything. So that means TikTok too. What does it look like on TikTok? So if I stream from Restream to TikTok, it's just a... Is it just a wide view? Is that what it is? Because that's okay, I guess. I see Possum joined. If you could let me know, Possum. Looks great. What does that mean? What does that mean? You can't just say that. You gotta show me what it looks like. Or, yes, landscape mode, but looks and sounds great. So, like, it's working. So if I do this, watch this. If I do this, it goes to, like, my gameplay. Send me another one. Oh, you can see what I'm playing. Because if that's... I don't know if Restream has the ability to stream to... okay. I don't know if Restream has the ability to stream to TikTok in the land and in the portrait layout. I don't know. Maybe it does, but... They gotta make all this stuff complicated and stupid. Complicated and stupid. Okay, let's keep going with our pre-games because I want this out of my dang ears, bro. It's like kind of torture. I'm sweating like so bad. I'm sweating. Anybody want a taste? Anybody want a taste? Super salty. Super salty. We can count this. 4, 8, 12. 4, 8, 12. I counted it twice. I'm like James Bond. Boom. We take those. I can count this. Not this one. It's a big container. Cones are kind of tricky. I'm thinking 123. Like a nice 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Aw, crud. Ballpark? These are hard. I'm thinking 48. Ooh! Dadgum. Okay. Eggs. Eggs. Why are some shiny and some are matte? Let's ask that later. I'm going to say 50. No. 44. Good call. Good call. Good call. Okay, well, if it looks the same on everything, then great. We're gonna say, what are these, dodecahedrons or whatever? 88 was bad. 88 was bad. Encore? What does that mean? Okay, I'm gonna shut that. Okay, Possum, here's the next assignment. Can you go on to TikTok and can you comment on the stream on TikTok to see if I can see it in Restream? Just to make sure that every comment that comes in, I will be able to see. That's good, but it's ballpark. Yeah. 84. Sometimes I just get like so thirsty. Oh, this music is driving me up a wall. Should I have guessed, or should I have trusted? Yeah, I should have trusted myself the first time. Crud. Ooh, good. Good. Let me know when you have commented on the TikTok live. Because if I don't see it, then I don't see it on here, and I need to figure something out. Survival. Nice. 100. We say 100 out loud, but then we guess a little less. You know what I mean? See, there we go. You gotta say 100 out loud. That's a lot. That's like I'm not joking. That's literally 184. I'm not typing. Watch. 100. Oh shoot. Oh shucks. Can you see this? I can't see that in I can't. So, okay. 100 and Ooh! Nice. Little pyramids. These fit really good together, and the container is really large. This doesn't look like a lot, but it's 88. Close. This cones fit together really well, and this is a decently large container, but this is less than last time. This is less than the last round. We're gonna guess a solid 72. No, solid 65. Yeah. Ooh. Small containers, spheres fit decently well together. This is like, we can count them. 1, 2, 3. It's like a 5 by Oh, God dang it. Oh, good. Squares in a cylinder. $72. Crap. Oh, good. Big container, spheres. This doesn't look like a lot, but hold on. It's speaking to me. 79. Aura. And donuts. We know donuts. Hold on. 34. Crap. Well, that's okay. That's all right. What does that say? Jenna, do I want to repeat that? Donuts. We know donuts. Donuts are our thing. Big container. Donuts lay flat. 62. Ah! Ah! Squares fit good together. Big container, cylinder. Divide by pi. Square it by 4. Okay. Okay. Pills. I don't know much about pills. Was that funny? Sorry if it wasn't. 130. 130. They lay good. It's a big container, cylinder. Boom! Yes. Cones. The sign of the dunce. But not today. 98. No, 87. Oh, crud. I said 98! I said 98. Donuts. I'm very intimate with the donut. But sometimes that doesn't help. 61. Ah, crud. That's it. That's it, isn't it? No! Our record is 21 rounds. I didn't think it would stop. 180. When it's that high, we just kind of guesstimate a ballpark number, you know? That's good. We're safe. We're safe. Up there, I'd have to be off by like 50. We're fine. What are these? This is like a D8. We can count this. 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. I'm gonna wait, 20. I'm gonna say 26. Crud. That might be it, actually. Oh my gosh. Okay, lock back in. We have to beat our record. Pyramid. Big container. One layer. No! That's it. Yeah, take me out. Just get me out of here. Over, under. Over, under 47. Bro. We gotta do that again. Over, under 33. Over, under 33. Over, under 33. Golly! I'm gonna like cry. I'm gonna cry, man. Oh, that's under 121. Yeah. 93, that's over 93. Yeah. 85, under. That one sucks, dude. Why'd they get me so close to that one? 63, that's over. Oh, it like exploded, genuinely. For 144? Why are they colored like that? I don't think I've seen that color yet. Pills. Took a pill in Ibiza. Yeah. That's over 92. Yeah. I could tell by the sheer velocity. Scanning. Nice. You had. I think you need to explain your last comment, Possum, because that it's still kind of jarring me. Because in a way, you kind of just spelled like the. Oh. And you distracted me just then. That was your fault. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, okay, okay. Let me get this wretched music out of my ear. I can think again. If I can breathe, I can think. If I can think, I can win. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. If I can breathe, I can think. If I can think, I can win. What do we play? Any requests? Possum, what do you want to see? Is there any is there any game that we've played in the past I don't know. In the past. Just in the past that you want to see? Should we do the Choicer Voicer? Or should we do Pal World? Or really I could do anything. I need to monitor my other one. Because I'm trying to think. I have a Minecraft hardcore world going on that we just kind of started, and that kind of sounds nice to me. You know what I mean? You know? Maybe we do that and just I don't know, get more into it. My only thing is I hate going between. I don't have anything for helping me go between. Why does it open on my vertical monitor? Do I need to hold on? All right, come on. I need to open it here maybe. Wow. I made this joke yesterday, but Queso's online now, so there goes my viewers. No. Also, how? Wait. I think I figured it out. Wait. Yes, there we go. Golly. I just want to be Steve. A new skin. Slim. Steve is considered wide? Bro, what is that about? You can give him a cape that looks like dirt. Who's thinking of this stuff? We're just going to use Steve. We're going to use Steve. I swear, if I'm not Steve when I load into this wretched game. Okay. Okay. See? It always goes to this. I should open this. Boop. If you're wondering what my profile picture is, it's an embarrassing picture from 10 years ago. And I regret it. I think it was really my. It's just a phase I went through. I matched my socks with Crocs, and I wore socks with Crocs, and it wasn't my I didn't It wasn't my personality that like, but like, I don't know. If you're new, this is named Bratwurst Squirt because, I mean, do you know what that is? Have you experienced that? I'm not trying to euphemismate. You like bite a bratwurst and it like physically assaults you. It's like horrible. You like get like juice in your eye. Okay, I gotta move my camera. I'm gonna move it down here, and then I need to make it smaller because I'm pretty, but I'm not that pretty. I don't know if there's a setting. Someone who's smarter than me might know, but I don't know if there's like a setting that I can. What does this mean? Because when I click onto my other monitor for my stream and stuff, I don't know. But I need like every time I will go to like a different I don't know, like a different, what am I trying to say? Every time I'm trying to click off to the other monitor, it will pop up this window. It'll bring me back here. And then I have to do my little stuff while you look at whatever they added last time. I can't remember what it's called. Some like the third or fourth slime block they added. Okay, we were one of my main things in Minecraft is I love enchanting. Enchanting's my thing. It's my stuff. But every time I play Minecraft, I get so frustrated that I can't find enough paper. So on my way to this little abode that I have decided to call home. Wait, abode means home, doesn't it? On this little island that I have decided to call home. It's like kind of like secluded. I don't know. It's got a lot of sea turtles. We'll probably kill them eventually, but you know. They, on my way here, it was next to like dark oak forest too, and I got a bunch of spruce from somewhere. Where did I go to get that? I can't remember. I gotta lock in. But, every time I did something, what am I saying? On my way to this island, I gathered every piece of sugarcane that I saw, and I just planted it along the shoreline right here because I know I'm going to be spending some time here. Every time I see my bed, I think it's a spider. But I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time here, and I know that you have to be within the vicinity. Also, the sand always makes that noise, and I always think that it's a creeper. But I know I'm going to be in this vicinity a lot, and I know that you have to be in the vicinity for sugarcane to like grow. So yeah, I just figured we'd do that there. I have like spruce. That's my favorite wood to build with. Of course it's like whose is it not? You know, like it's everyone's favorite. But I don't really remember where I got it from. I think it was over there. But I really need... Okay. My cursor's in the middle of my screen, right? Am I going crazy? I feel like it's a little lower. I feel like in order to like hit people... Why did I say that twice? I'd have to like go up a little bit and hit them. But is this actually... I don't know. I have another bed. Let's go get like a bunch of stone. But we have to outsource our stone, right? We don't want to get our stone from our island or else our island's going to look ugly. And we kind of care about that. So we have to go somewhere that has stone. Wait, wasn't there a... I don't know why I'm asking. I I should know. Wasn't there like a cave that I was at? Over this way. Over down yonder. Java is so much better. I had been playing Bedrock my whole life, not on PC, on Xbox. And oh my good lord, Java is so much better. Wait, it was over here. That's right. Java is like, and I need to build a boat. Don't judge me. Java is so much better. Like on Bedrock, though, getting those to like grow would take like literal lifetime. Like a literal lifetime. Can I swim fast? Let's go. Let's go. Come on. There's more sugarcane over there. I see it. Possum, are you doing okay? Na 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 hey ya na. No hey ya. Okay, we don't mess with these mobs. I'm in hardcore. I'm playing kind of a Minecraft version that I'm not really familiar with. So even though this seems easier, I'm just gonna say it. This seems easier than Bedrock. I don't want that. I know people are gonna say, "How dare you? How dare you say that?" Or they're not gonna care at all. Probably the latter. Where are you? Where are you? Was it right here? Yeah. Now this isn't really a cave, but I could get some stone here. And some of this coal. Because I like that. Okay, you're gonna have to forgive me too. I'm like so bad at mouse and keyboard. But I need to get used to it. I'm tired. We didn't watch a video. Usually we make fun of British people at this time. You know? Ugh! See what I mean? I'm kind of like dumb when it comes to like how I have to move. Can I grab that, please? Oh my gosh. I guess I could make copper tools. I just don't want to be a chud. Oh, this wasn't a thing. This literally wasn't good. Just a perfect 3x3 square. I need iron, and I need to find... I apologize. Blah, 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 blah. Ugh. I like the spruce, but come on. I need like something else. That's a creeper. They have footsteps in Java? Didn't have to come to that, but okay. Oh my. Was that a baby zombie? I'm not about to die to that. I'm sorry. I have coal. I need to just be smart. I have coal and I have logs. About to drop some. About to drop some logs. You know? Can't I make sticks? Let's just make like all of them. There we go. I ain't about to die to some juvenile. I knew I saw some some sand. I did see this iron. This iron right here. Okay, I am kind of curious about the zombie sound, so we're going to go check it out. And I'm going to be on guard. As in, like, on guard, not like the French word. We will on guard. What the? Oh, that's the thing. That's the 3x3. Oh man. Oh man. I pressed the wrong directional key. Shut up, freak. Shut up, freak. Don't make a noise. I'm trying to listen for smaller freaks that want to kill me. Dude, I got jump scared so bad yesterday playing this. It was so bad. I was just... I had, like, fenced myself up. Holy cow. I, like, fenced myself up to, like, wait out the night. Just because I'm not messing with this. And, dude, they, like... They straight, like... dogged me. Let me check this. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Says we're still good, I guess. Looks like we are. Okay. Oh. It goes nowhere. Oh, but iron! Okay, okay. Nice. There we go. I'm sorry. I know they added copper to the game, but I'm just not about it. Like, and I feel like everyone understands. I'll use it for cosmetic stuff and like maybe a lightning rod or whatever for whatever reason. I don't really know. Oh god. I was trying to like MLG Pro it. Oh. Okay. Don't give me your egg. Ooh, look at that. I need to make a water bucket. Ooh. Fortune 1. That's bad. I guess it's better than nothing, but there's a lot of these things around here. What do we need to do? What should we be doing? I guess I should be building like a little house. I don't want you guys to judge my building skills though. Nice. Grab those. And sometimes I find a better spot and we just have to like leave our current one. But I kind of like our current one. We can make it into like a cool little place. Oh, here's something. Yeah. Yeah. Put torches. Put torches. Put torches. Put torches. Put torches. I kind of like this. Do you know what I mean? Like if we had a spot like this just in the rock where we could just like leave from and but like like this was our house and I built up a wall and like we had like a big old window going on, but then like it was so close to just like an underground access point that we never have to go anywhere for like mining stuff and all that shish kebab. We might set it up here. You know what? Bye, George. Bye, George. Dang it. Where is my wife? She gone. She gone. That's what that means. She is out. Like Mike Tyson came over and just like left hooked her. She's out. Cold. Hey. Well, I'm jumping late. Okay, let me Oh, it's just a sheep. Let's build. Do I not have any more? Did I not press that? I pressed that. There we go. I press that. Let's do. That's like a serial killer vibes, isn't it? Like I'm just how I'm doing that. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we can put like most of that in there. And then we'll go get our stuff. I kind of liked the abode, the little humble abode, but I think we can make this into something fun. We could have like a little bridge that comes from like over here to over here, and this can be our little like enchanting area. I don't know. I have vision, I promise. It might be very limited and it might be wrong and incorrect, but I have some sort of vision. I can't, there's no way, I don't know if there, I think there is, but I can't really tell how many people are in here. You know, I can't even tell how many people are watching this, or if there is any. I need to figure out how to set up vertical stuff. And the solution might just be that I have to stream from TikTok and get it all set up and stream from TikTok, and then I have to stream. What am I saying? Like, I have to have 2 streams going out. But then what's the point if I can't? There's got to be a way. I've subscribed to Restream. I have a subscription with Restream so that I can stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And then I thought, you know, when I get TikTok live access, I can stream on TikTok too and just like do it all at one time, which I pretty much am doing with this. But then I was thinking, are people shooting guns down here? That's what that sounded like. But then something. What am I saying? But then, like, I tried this. Today's the first day I tried going live on TikTok, and part of me feels like it's something where I need to look at this stuff. Well, look at this stuff. Boom, boom, bee-da-dee. Also, since I've played Java, there's not a single bit of music that I have recognized as like Minecraft music. They haven't played the classic, you know? Which is fine, because this music is nice, but... And the music I've heard is really good. The music that I have heard is really good, so like it's not bad, but oh, see, look at that, we just got 41, or sorry, 44 just from, look at them, they're growing. Holy cow. Okay, we gotta grab our stuff. I guess I don't need that, but... Can I grab all this? Can I be honest? I don't need most of this. I would like that. That, sure, I guess. That. Maybe that. Everything else is like, I'll take sticks too. Flint and obsidian. Maybe the clock. But everything else is like, that's like Curse of Vanishing and like what? Silk Touch gold shovel. That's actually not like too bad. If I needed to, for some reason, ever, I don't know, pick up just the, like a clay block for some reason. Should I take all this sugarcane right now? Or should I not? I don't really know. already searched the pirate ship wreckage. I would really like if my dearest wife would tell me if everything kind of looks good. I'm just like paranoid. I know it probably looks fine. It's not vertical like I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Do gamers get arthritis? I feel like they do. I feel like they kind of have to. I'll just leave the rest of that stuff in that chest over there. And, and it can be, we'll remember it at some point if I ever need the pointless stuff that was in it. You know what I mean? We got all filled up now. Oh my. I'm just gonna get three of yeah. Okay, sometimes when I do that, I just want to stop talking. So that's what just happened. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna get like no-scoped by drowned with a trident, you know? Okay, so this is the abode. This is the place where all our dreams are gonna come true. I keep hitting tab. Have you seen that TikTok edit of the crafting table in the furnace? It goes so hard. It's like so hard. That's what I just did. You know what I mean? I sat it down and it just combusted. 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 Stid. Combusted. Combusted. Actually, hold on. What'd you say? You said hi just. You said H just? What does that mean? What does that mean? Or did you just like you sleep type it? Possum? I need to Is it nighttime? Holy crap. Okay. First I need to get like all this crap out of my all this crap out of my stuff. All this stuff out of my crap. Okay, there has to be some semblance of order. This is gonna be everything like organic and mineral like. All food, all ores, sticks, and then the other side is gonna be other things like other things. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be like that stuff. So now we need to take that stuff out of typo. Is that what you said? Typo? You're like, are you like okay? You're not having a stroke, right? Because that's like you're just like spouting stuff off. Can you see? Can you check on TikTok for me if you are coherent and with us? If you're with us, some kind of organization. We're gonna put all food down here. I feel like I could really, really get into like Mongolian throat singing if given the chance. I think I could really get into it. You know what I mean? I just feel it. Boom, cat, boom, 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 cat, boom, 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 cat, boom, 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 cat. First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. No, ooh, the way that things have been. No, ooh. I was broken by my young, I take my soul into the rock, but I feel that look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Feel me, take my heartache from the pain. We're gonna put that down there. I like doing this, but I need like some kind of order to it. And I put the nuggets in the thing. Oh my neck. Put the nuggets in the thing so I could like do this. Okay. Nice. And now my poems for the few that look at me, took at me, shook at me. Making me think of a heart out for the pain. Taking my message for the brain. We're going to put flint and coal. Actually, we're going to put coal down here. We're going to put obsidian right there. I need something for like plants in my brain. This is ores. This is food. We'll put like animal byproducts right there. These are going to the other thing. This is not. We have a good amount of stuff going on. We could probably plant some of that just to have it going. Oh, I thought it was in here. About to have to go kill something. Sorry, kids. I'm gonna kill a clown today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sorry, kids. I'm gonna kill a clown today. That is hilarious. Let's find the storefront that would that have worked? I think it would have worked. Oh my gosh, I hate the water. I hate these little grass bits too. My goodness. Okay, we have just planted that along that. I think we need to be done for today with Minecraft and just focus on doing more tomorrow. But so that we can watch a video or read some more Reddit stories and stuff, because I really like that. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. If you guys want, you could follow me on Twitch. I need. It says I have 20 followers right now. I need 25 to be able to be an affiliate or whatever. But we're gonna say we're gonna just. What am I trying to do? Hold on. Mamba. I got an Xbox. I got like an Xbox achievement. Okay, so we've done that. We have achieved that. I usually stream from 8 to 10, and this feels like a good way to kind of wrap it up, if you know what I mean, with some spooky stories. I was thinking about going to the spooky stories subreddit or whatever it's called. Yesterday we read from the Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole one? The heart of the internet is what they call, is what Reddit calls itself. Is that true? I don't really know if that's true. But that's okay. Okay. Let's find one of these. Oh no. There's a Reddit called No Sleep. And there's one called Paranormal Encounters. Ooh. 2-sentence horror. Creepy. r/creepy. Let's look at r/creepy. Oh my. Oh my. Oh no. This is going to be bad. Oh my gosh. This kind of scares me. Can I join? I joined. Oh no. So that we can save it for later. Possum, what are you doing? You're not allowed to have a second of peace. Just kidding. I know that's probably what it feels like though. Okay. I started this stream off by using this back scratcher to scratch something on my back. That ended up being a zit, and it like almost crippled me. So I'm not gonna get that low. We did it. We're good. Okay. I have filtered this from top to bottom. I have filtered this from all time of, wait, hold on. The top of all time. So the most likes, the most this is crazy. A friend went on a walk the other night and saw this woman just standing on a roof. Second Amendment. You know what I mean? Just kidding. Don't shoot people. But yeah. That's like, yeah, no. The missing persons map. Oh, in the cave system. We've all seen that, right? Which this makes total sense. People wander off. Also, you could say that like it's people like human trafficking, but I think what it also is just people wandering off and falling into caves or doing all that kind of crazy stuff. So I don't know if it's really necessarily like creepy stuff happening. I just think it's kind of, you know, it's a little odd that they line up, you know. My husband just sent me this. It was taken on his way to work this morning. I want stories. I thought we were going to be getting stories and stuff. So we'll stay with creepy. Maybe we go to No Sleep. My neighbor is incredibly nice. Everyone in town hates him. I mean, you know, that's, yeah. People will do that. Okay. I kind of wanted to read some from where is like the subreddit that has all of the creepy all the creepy stories. Is it No Sleep? I think it's No Sleep. Got it. Okay, we're going to filter from top and we're going to go of all time. Some of these we might have already heard. Oh no. This is bad. My sugar daddy asks me for weird favors. His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s at most. Looking for a sugar baby, $700 weekly, no intercourse. It sounded too good to be true, but as a broke university student, I was willing to take my chances. I swiped right, and Tinder let me know it was a match. His message came seconds later. Hey there, sweetheart. That's so weird. Oh, golly. I cringed at that word. I hated it. But $700 was $700, so I sucked it up and replied, hey, winky face. His name was Jack. Jack the Ripper? You mean? Jack the Ripper, you mean? His name was Jack. And he told me he owned his own business, although he never specified what kind of business it was. We talked for a while before he asked me for my Venmo to send me the first payment. The first payment? Is this a reoccurring thing? After a few minutes, I got the notification. I stared at the $700 for at least 20 minutes, expecting to wake up from a dream at any second. But it wasn't a dream. You still there? I clicked on the message. Yeah, sorry. If you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for in return? I stared at the chat until he replied, I'm just looking for you to do a few favors for me. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. She's asking what you want, and you say, whatever I want. That's weird. That sounded like it was going to be smexual to me. Yeah, that's right. Like what? For example, the first thing I need you to do is pick up a delivery for me. That sounded innocent enough, but I was still expecting... Well, the reason you're expecting weird things to happen is because he's asking for help on Tinder. Right? That's why it's weird. He's asking for help via Tinder. So it's not necessarily weird. Or it's not necessarily bad of you to suspect something. That sounded innocent enough, but I was still expecting there to be some kind of twist. $700 to pick up a package? Come on. Even I wasn't that naive. From the post office or something? Sometimes I read sentences like so weird. From the post office or something? No, I'll send you the address. But I'd rather not do this through Tinder. You got Kik? Or you can give me your number. Kik? What was this? 2011? I decided to give him my number instead, and he texted me the address immediately, followed by the address to his house where I would have to drop off the package. I'm not home right now, but there's a key on the bottom of the blue flower pot near the door. Go inside and put the package on the coffee table. Does this man not have, like, family in town? I know a lot of people don't, but, like, ugh. Does he not have, like, family? Put the package on the coffee table in the living room. Make sure that you lock the door when you go inside the house, and when you lock it again, and then lock it again when you leave. I grabbed my car keys, and wallet, and got into my car, putting the address into Google Maps. Got it, on my way. My phone buzzed as I backed out of my driveway. I'm serious. Lock the door both times, please. I thought that was a little excessive, but I promised him that I would. The house looked abandoned. It had a broken chain link fence around it with a small door that was hanging on to dear life. It stuck out like a sore thumb, surrounded by houses that were a lot nicer than this one in comparison. You here for Jack's crap? I looked up to see a man standing in the doorway of the house. He took up almost the entire space, his head skimming the top of the doorframe. He was huge in height and muscles. His entire torso was covered in tattoos. Yeah, I guess, I replied, not moving from my spot on the sidewalk. Stay right there, he said. I did. I actually don't think I would have moved if he had asked me to. I looked around and realized that there was no one else on this street. I was a 21-year-old woman alone in the street. I gripped my car keys, yeah. A few minutes later, the man came back out carrying a cardboard box that was soaked in blood. I'm kidding. A cardboard box. It was about the size of a shoebox, but stained and damp. Did I pre-fire that? I might have pre-fired that. But was stained and damp on some of the corners. Can you open your car? He asked. I opened the trunk, not wanting the inside of my car seats not wanting it on the inside of my car seats, and he set it in. All right, there you go, he said. Thanks, I replied. I walk around to the driver's side of the car and open the door. Oh, and one more thing, he said. I looked at him. Watch out, he said. I didn't reply. I blasted my music as I drove to Jack's house, hoping it would drown out my anxiety. It didn't. I parked my car in the stone driveway and stayed inside the car, admiring the house. It was a huge house, with stone pillars on the front porch and the greenest grass I'd ever seen in my life. I turned the car off and got out. I grabbed the package and walked to the front door, getting the key from where he said it would be. I opened the door and stepped in, closing it behind me. I thought about what he had said about locking the door when I got inside. I thought that was a little overboard, but I stared at the closed door. Something made me reach out and lock it. I walked inside, my feet cushioned by the thick maroon carpet. Ew. Maroon. And admired the inside of the house. All the furniture was wooden and looked incredibly expensive. I would probably finish school a dozen times with the money that it took to furnish this place. I set the package down on the coffee table. And as I walked back to the door, I heard a phone ringing from somewhere inside the house. I froze. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. In my pocket, my phone buzzed. I took it out to look. Don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin. Ew. I put my phone back and followed the sound of the phone, poking my head into a few different rooms before I found it in an office. I walked over to the desk and looked at the caller ID. Incoming call from Jack. Wait. The dude when he was at the blah blah blah, you know what I mean? The dude when he was at the, what am I saying? When he was at, sorry. Holy cow. I think I need to be diagnosed with something. Side note. When she was at that house, that rickety old weird house, picking up the package, he asked, "Are you here for Jack's crap?" And she said, I guess. Yeah, I guess. He said, "You here for Jack's crap?" Oh my gosh. Incoming call from Jack. So Jack is calling. That was odd. I grabbed my phone to look at the message again. I was staring at it. I was starting to get a little bit creeped out and decided I wouldn't answer, just to be safe. Well, he told you to don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin. So it didn't say Marvin, so I wouldn't answer it. And decided I wouldn't answer just to be safe and left the house, remembering to lock the door as I left. I've done a few more favors for Jack since then. I drove a BMW to a random park in another city. This is bad. This is he's some kind of like mob boss or some kind of like dealer of some sort, human trafficker, something. You know, he's some kind of something. Wow. Where was I? Only to get out and drive a different car back to Jack's house. He had me meet one of his employees at lunch, who then gave me a briefcase to deliver to the first house I had gone to and told me he would know if I looked inside. Really? On several occasions, he asked me to drive down to the same house and stay with the guy, whose name was Julio, sorry. Sorry, I'm just stupid. Julio, for a certain amount of time. Asked me to drive down to the same house and stay with the guy whose name was Julio for a certain amount of time. What? Stay with him? In total, I've made about $3,500. Most recently, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text message from him. I need you to spend the night at my house. I hadn't ever seen him in person, but I had talked to him on the phone a few times. He proceeded to tell me he would pay me $1,000 to spend the night at his house, provided that I follow a few rules. I drove to his house that evening. The driveway was empty, and it normally was, but the porch light was on. I walked up, unlocked the door, went inside, and then locked it again. Everything in the house looked the same. Jack had told me over the phone that he would leave the list of rules on the dining room table. I set all my stuff down in the living room. My bags looked like garbage compared to the fancy furniture in there. I wandered into the kitchen and then on the dining and then to the dining room. Sure enough, there was a piece of paper on the wooden table held down by an empty glass. Lock the door when you come in. Only answer calls from Marvin. Don't turn on any faucets between Don't turn on any faucets between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. What? Just a 2-hour window at night? The perfect time that someone would want to take a shower also before bed. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. What? Oh my gosh, dude. This is frightening. Oh, it's so long. It's so long. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms. The gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the windows, hide. No! Holy crap. Oh my god. This is like a video game. Do you know what I mean? Oh my gosh. This is like, this should be turned into a video game where people, oh my. Ugh. Where you're like, you're given this list and then during the night you have to do things, and then it's like, if the blah 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 knocks 3 times, then do this. If so and so does this, then do that. This is nuts. I don't like this. If the gardener comes at midnight, if he starts knocking on the windows, hide. But what if he knocks on the door? Let him in? Like what? Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Don't forget to do this. Oh, what kind of torture is this? Help yourself to anything in the fridge. Smiley face. He's got like just cans of caviar. I'll pay you in the morning. Good night. I made sure to follow all the rules. To be honest, I was regretting my decision. But seeing as I was already here and I was getting paid, I decided to stay anyway. I figured as long as I followed all the rules, I'd be perfectly fine. Still, it felt a little odd. What was this? A haunted house? Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours as I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that's the time that all the weird crap would begin to happen. At 8:50, I brushed my teeth, using the faucet for the last time before 9 p.m. I checked the closet in the hallway, and upon seeing that it was open, I moved my stuff into the library and got ready to sleep on the couch. I locked the doors just in case and laid on the couch, scrolling through my phone. I hadn't gotten any more messages from Jack, and I started to think up scenarios and reasons as to why he had such strict, particular sets of rules in his house. I had dozed off at some point, and why does she need to be there? That's the other question that I have. Why does she need to be there? So weird. I checked before 9 p.m. I checked the closet in the hallway. We already read that. I had dozed off at some point because at exactly 10:16 p.m., I was woken up by the doorbell ringing. I was about to get up to check, but then I remembered the rule. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. I stayed on the couch, trying not to move, paranoid that they would hear even the slightest sound. It's the police! Open up! I didn't move. Hello? It's the police! Open or we're coming in! I still didn't move, but I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was silence for a while after that. Then the doorbell rang again. Hey, it's Jack. Let me in. Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm clutching my pearls if I had any. Oh my gosh. This is, whoo. I'm sorry, Possum, if you're listening to this. I know this is going to do irreparable damage to you at a time of night. It sounded like Jack, but still, I didn't get up. He would have a key, wouldn't he? Why would he need me to let him in? This continued for almost a full hour. Different people would ring the doorbell, announce themselves, and then disappear when I didn't respond. I was finally able to fall asleep. How? How? Dude, I'd be packing. I'd be packing. When I woke up the next morning, I heard someone in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The gardener never came. I forgot to read that. I heard someone in the kitchen. I got up slowly and unlocked the door as quietly as possible, taking my phone with me and walking across the living room into the kitchen. I stopped at the entrance and peered in. It was Jack. He was standing in the front of the stove, stirring something as the coffee machine brewed coffee on the counter behind him. "Hey, good morning," he said when he saw me. "Hi," I replied, nervous. I hadn't seen him in person before, but he looked exactly like his picture online. "Scrambled eggs?" he asked, motioning to the pan with a wooden spoon. "Yeah, thanks," I replied, walking over to take the plate from him. I ate my breakfast and drank some coffee in silence. "So, how was it?" he asked. "It was okay. Nothing super freaky happened," I replied. "Cool," he replied. There was an awkwardness in the room. "I think I'm going to go now. I have class." I trailed off. I didn't, but I really wanted to get out of there. "Oh no, yeah, sure. I'll talk to you some other time," he replied. I grabbed my stuff and he walked me to my car. I could see him standing in the driveway, staring at me as I left. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm kind of like reading ahead and it's freaking me out. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff and noticed that I still had the list with me. I sat on my bed and read it again. I felt my body tense up as I realized I had forgotten something. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget this. Do not forget this. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget this. Do not forget this. Oh my gosh. I stared at the words on the page until they lost meaning. Beside me, my phone buzzed, snapping me back to reality. It was the $1,000 payment. I looked at my phone and then back at the list. Maybe it wasn't an important step. As I was thinking this over, a text from Jack came in. "I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week. So you're free from running..." Oh my gosh. "I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week. So you're free from running any more errands for me until then. Just sent the payment. Go do something fun." I stared at the message and read it again. And again. And once more for good measure. "I'm not in town right now." I thought back to this morning and how Jack was in his house. How he gave me breakfast. "I'm not in town right now." Within minutes, a new text came in, this time from a number that I didn't recognize. "Did you forget something?" Winky face. Oh, God. The text was followed by a picture of Jack, or whoever this version of Jack was, standing in front of the TV. I didn't respond. Next came another picture. This one was the outside of my house. It was followed by another text. "Watch out." Oh my gosh. Oh, no, no, no. Golly. That's why you stay bricked up, if you know what I mean. Not in the way that, that's why you stay strapped. But whoever that was not Jack, and whoever that was is not human. It's not human. He said, "This is demented." Is this a true story? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it is. Sounds like someone who just had like a good horror idea. But man, that was good. Someone said, "Dang, you're screwed." Should have turned on the TV, I guess. Anyone else pick up that "watch out"? Was that Julio? Was what Julio said the first time she left his house? Oh no. Golly. Oh my. I kind of want to read another one. This is a little addicting. Is this what it's like reading Stephen King? Do you know what I mean? Is this what it's like reading Stephen King? How long did that take us? That took us like 20 minutes, maybe? Oh, I think I've heard something like this before. Oh no. Oh no. This is long. Good. Good. It's Friday. I don't have to work tomorrow. I want to read this one. I kind of feel hands gripping my spine right now. Not actually like literally, but like figuratively. I feel like my spine is tense. Ooh, like I'm ready to like run, even though I can't run very efficiently. Um, my wife has been peeking at me from around corners and behind furniture. It's gone from weird to terrifying. Possum, I am so sorry. In advance. I am so sorry. My wife, Lynn, is what they're calling her, and I have been together for 6 years and married for 11 months. Our entire history. You don't have to listen, by the way. Like, if you don't want to hear this, if you think it won't be good for you, you can like. I mean, don't turn my stream off, of course, but like, just take the AirPods out. I'm kidding. You do whatever you need to. My wife Lynn and I have been together for 6 years and married for 11 months. It's kind of addicting though. Don't you think? It's kind of like, ooh, I'm like in someone's business and it's scary, but it's not happening to me. You know? And I don't believe in curses and stuff, so it's not like something's going to happen to me. What does this mean? So these are, I think this is how many people are in the community, 167,000. And then this is the amount of people that are on right now reading. Oh my gosh. Our entire history together has been very normal, and never once have I noticed any weird behaviors or red flags. I can't stress enough how out of character this whole thing is for her. Lynn is very kind, intelligent, and thoughtful. She's always been the no nonsense type of person. Being childish or trying to scare me is not something she'd normally do. She doesn't even like watching horror movies. When we first started dating, she agreed to watch The Shining with me because she knew how much I loved horror. She was so scared that she didn't even make it through half of the movie before we had to turn it off. She isn't into anything creepy and has never been into pranks. It's just not her cup of tea, and that's fine. But that's what was so strange about this. It's just so unlike her, because it probably isn't, buddy. Just not to ruin this for you, but it probably isn't her. Yeah, not to be weird. Hold on real quick. Let me get a drink. This is making my throat all dry. Okay. I should also add that she never had any mental health issues, and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't run in her family. I know some people. Sorry. I know some people are able to hide their mental health problems, but in the 6 years we've been together, I think I would have seen some sort of sign. 2 months ago, I was in the kitchen making myself some coffee before work. I was running a bit late that morning and knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Dunkin' Donuts for my usual morning fix. I took a sip of my coffee as I hurried down the hall towards the front door, when I happened to notice Lynn peeking at me from around the corner ahead of me. I could only see her eyes and a strand of her long dark hair hanging against the wall. The rest of her body was concealed behind the corner. I nearly spilled my coffee when I saw her. I did burn the crap out of my lips. "Geez, Lynn," I said, wiping a few drops of coffee from my pants. "You scared the crap out of me." She immediately popped out of view like a little child, like a little kid that had been caught. I heard her scurry off towards the living room, and by the time I got to the front door, she was out of sight. Golly. Golly. Um, where'd it go? And by the time I got to the front door, she was out of sight. It was really weird and just totally out of character for her, like I said. But I also found it kind of funny that she was being more playful and a little less serious. I shouted that I loved her and called her a weirdo. As I shut the door behind me, I heard her laughing. Her behavior was a bit odd, but it certainly wasn't something to call a priest over. I forgot about it by lunch, and by the time I got home, she was her normal self. I didn't bring it up, and neither did she, and life went on. The next incident happened 3 days later. It was around 2 a.m., and I had woken up to get a drink. I was standing at the kitchen island, jug of OJ in my hand, when I felt a strong feeling that I was being watched. At 2 a.m., she did this? For whatever reason, I looked down at the floor and saw my wife's smiling face staring back. She was peeking at me from the other side of the island, staring up at me with wide, unblinking eyes and grinning like the Cheshire cat. I screamed, I'll admit it. Not out of irritation, but fear. For some reason, at that moment, I was scared. At the sound of my scream, Lynn scuttled backwards out of my view, her hands and feet smacking the tile floor as she hurried out of the kitchen on all fours. No. I didn't run after her or even yell after her. I just stood there frozen in shock, wondering what the crap had possessed her to do that. It took me a little longer than I'd admit to go back upstairs, but I eventually did. When I got to our bedroom, Lynn was lying on her side, asleep. Or at least pretending to be. I stood there for a while watching her, breathing to be sure she really was asleep. I had the feeling she might jump out at me the moment I got into bed, but she didn't. I climbed into bed and she didn't even move. Her breathing was soft and deep, and I was starting to wonder if I'd dreamt the whole thing. The next morning, I waited for her to come down for coffee, and after handing her a mug and kissing her cheek, I decided to ask her about it. What was that about last night? I asked, keeping my tone light so I didn't offend or embarrass her. She frowned over her cup of coffee, shaking her head like she had no clue what I was referring to. You were peeking at me again from over there, I said, pointing to the spot on the floor by the kitchen island. She followed my gaze, and when she looked back at me, she burst out laughing. She laughed so hard that I couldn't help but join her. You creep me the F out sometimes, you know that? She said. She giggled and set her cup on the counter and wrapped her arms around my neck. You creep me out all the time, so I guess we're even, she teased. What? So she kind of is like saying that that's not even her? You know what I mean? Like, that's not even, she's like, she kind of acknowledged that wasn't her. Like, he's lying, but then she says we're even. That's weird. We said our goodbyes and left for work. As I drove, I kept thinking about how creepy it had been seeing her grinning at me from behind the island like that. The sounds of her hands the sound that her hands made on the floor as she crawled away. I told myself she was just trying to be silly, just trying to join me in my love of all things horror. It's not like I was afraid of her, but it still didn't sit right with me. I started seeing her peeking at me more and more. Sometimes she'd be peeking out from behind the couch or living room curtains. Once she even managed to get inside her grandmother's old trunk that sits at the foot of our bed. I might not have even known she was there at all had the trunk's old hinges not given her away. She'd had the lid propped up just enough so that only half of her face peeked through. She'd been grinning like an excited toddler. It was unnerving. I didn't even know what to say to her. All I could do was stare. When I finally found my voice, I asked her why on earth she was doing this. She didn't answer, but she had slowly closed the lid, shutting herself inside the trunk. I just walked away, feeling disturbed. I didn't understand why she was doing it, but it clearly made me happy. It clearly made her happy. It clearly made her happy. I just hoped she would tire of the game quickly. Lynn didn't peek at me for the next 2 weeks. I started to think she was done with her weird prank, and I was relieved. We were watching a show on Netflix one night, and I jokingly said that I hadn't seen her peeking at me lately and that she must have given up on her spy game. She looked at me with a small smile and said, "Maybe I've just gotten better at it." What? What? So it actually is her? I was thinking it was this whole time it was like an impersonator or something, like some kind of weird spirit that would, like impersonator. That's crazy. I didn't say anything but wondered whether or not she was joking. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about what she'd said. Was she still peeking at me when I wasn't looking and I just hadn't noticed? And if so, what the heck was she getting out of this? I started to feel paranoid, constantly checking whether she was watching from around the corner or behind a door. I was jumpy when I was home and she wasn't in full view of me. I felt stupid and a little crazy. But after a few weeks without another incident, I began to relax. I stopped checking behind furniture and walls and told myself it was just a bad memory. This reminds me of something that you would hire someone to go do to someone who had like ruined your life. You know what I mean? This is like some kind of hitman type job where you'd be like, just go and like look at him. But like make his life kind of horrible. But after a few weeks without another incident, I began to relax. Then a few days ago, things got so much worse. Lynn left to go to a friend's, and I lounged on the couch and played a couple of games on my laptop. Around 9 p.m., I hopped in the shower, and as I was washing the soap from my hair, I felt an awful feeling that I was being watched. I slowly opened my eyes. I just got chills down my spine. I slowly opened my eyes and almost had a freaking heart attack. Lynn was peeking from behind the shower curtain, her entire head stretched into the shower, leaving just her body outside. Her long dark hair hung against the curtain, and the ends dripping with water. Her mouth hung open in a terrible grin, eyes wide and red, as if she hadn't blinked in a while. I screamed and jumped. This has to be fake. This is just a fake story, okay? Like, don't think this is real. But it's like good, right? It's like a good short story. Her mouth hung open in a terrible grin, eyes wide and red, as if she hadn't blinked in a while. I screamed and jumped back. She's possessed AF. Yeah, I know. It's like, that's crazy. I screamed and jumped back against the wall. She didn't move, nor did her smile waver. Her makeup ran down her cheeks in two black streaks. She looked giddy and completely deranged. I was effing terrified. We stood like that for a few moments, neither of us saying a word. Finally, after what felt like forever, she slowly pulled her head back out of the shower, and I watched her blurry figure through the curtain as she moved backwards towards the bedroom. A second later, the bathroom door slammed shut, hard enough to rattle the mirror. I screamed again and jumped out of the shower to lock the door. I stayed inside the bathroom for over an hour. Maybe I overreacted to some of you, but joke or not, I wasn't going to put up with the crazy crap anymore. That's what I kept telling myself as I paced in my bathroom, stopping to listen at the door every few minutes. Suddenly I heard a muffled sound, and I pressed my ear against the bathroom door, straining to listen. I couldn't hear anything, but I envisioned Lynn standing on the other side of the door, giggling at her joke. I felt a surge of anger. I was beyond pissed at being made to feel scared in my own house and made to hide in the bathroom for an hour. All for what? Some joke? If it was a joke, it was an awful one. What the F, Lynn? I snapped. This crap is getting really effing annoying. I waited for her to apologize or to call me a jerk, but instead I heard a faint moan, so quiet I wondered if I heard it at all, and then complete silence. Lynn? I called out, not able to even hide the shakiness in my voice. I got no response, just my own heavy breathing. I swear to God, just effing stop it, I yelled, pounding my fist on the door. I waited for her to cuss me out, something I would expect from me talking to her like that. I never screamed at her before, but there was nothing, just the occasional drip from the shower head. I won't deny that I was scared, too afraid to open the dang door and face my own wife. I waited for around 30 minutes or so, which feels like an effing lifetime when you're scared. Finally, I decided I wasn't going to spend the night hiding in my bathroom. So I got down on my knees and peered under the door. Sorry. So I got down on my knees and peered under the door. Ugh. Where am I at? So I got down on my knees and peered under the door. I almost expected to see her face peeking back at me, but thankfully I didn't. I could see straight down the hallway to the top of the stairs, but no Lynn. I didn't know if I should be happy about that or not. I looked for a few minutes, waiting to see her head pop up the top step, but it never came. I stood up, my hand hovering over the door, and mentally preparing myself to open it. I slowly turned the lock with shaky fingers and was about to yank it open when I heard a sound that still makes me feel nauseous when I think about it. A moan, louder than before, but this time I was able to tell just where it was coming from. I turned my head to the closet door as in slow motion and locked eyes with my wife, who was peeking out at me from the slight gap. Her eyes were still wide as ever, and her mouth was hanging open in the most grotesque, gaping smile I'd ever seen. I didn't even scream. I was too scared for even that. Her hands were clasped to her chest, body trembling with sheer delight, as if she could barely contain her excitement. A short, raspy moan bubbled from her throat, deep and raw, sending a shiver through my entire body. Somehow I found the ability to pull the bathroom door open and run as fast as I could all the way down the steps, snagging my keys and phone from the table in the living room. And before running outside to my car, I could hear her shrill laughter behind me, but I didn't hear her getting closer. I didn't bother shutting the front door. I drove away from the house faster than I legally should have, shivering the entire time, either from fear or the cold, maybe a little of both. I hadn't grabbed a coat or even a pair of shoes. I was still in my boxers, and my hair was still damp. I drove straight to my brother Chris's house about 40 minutes away, ignoring any and every call and text I got. 40 minutes away, ignoring any and every call and text I got. I didn't check my phone until I was safely parked in my brother's driveway. Lynn had called 4 times and sent a flurry of texts, all wondering where I'd gone and why I felt like that. What? So it's actually her? What the heck? Bro, you can't be joking like this. That's like nefarious. That's like nefarious things. You can't be doing that. I threw my phone at the dash in a rage, furious at her nonchalant attitude. My brother and his wife were surprised to see me, especially dressed in just a pair of boxers, but told me to stay as long as I needed. Chris lent me some clothes and asked me what happened. I told him Lynn and I had a fight, but didn't get into the details. I didn't want him to think I was overreacting, leaving my wife over a prank, even if it was a strange one. I mean, hadn't I encouraged her for years to lighten up instead of being so serious all the time? I had wanted her to relax and loosen up, but this was definitely not what I had in mind. I tried to sleep on their sofa, but my brain wouldn't let me sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lynn's face staring at me from inside the closet. Knowing she'd been in there with me the entire time made my skin crawl. She'd never left the effing bathroom at all. Instead, she slipped inside the closet and slammed the bathroom door shut to fool me. The mere thought of going back home gave me anxiety. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Chris ended up giving me a sleeping pill so I was able to get a little rest. My sleep was filled with terrible dreams, all of Lynn's smiling face. I woke up just as the sun started to rise. My sore body ached from the sofa, and I felt drained. I knew I'd have to call Lynn at some point, but I didn't know what to say to her. I wouldn't be going home unless she gave me her word she'd never do any more creepy crap. Creepy crap. CC, creepy crap. CC Krupa, creepy crap. I just wanted my wife back. Her normal, serious self never looked so good to me. Her normal, serious self never looked so good to me. I was contemplating calling her and telling her that, when that familiar feeling came over me. I was being watched. I was staring at the ceiling, my heart in my throat. I didn't want to look away, but the longer I ignored the feeling, the worse it got. My eyes drifted away from the ceiling almost on their own. Her face was pressed up against the window beside the couch, staring down at me with the same gaping smile. Drool dripped down her lips, leaving 2 long streaks down the glass. I didn't know how long she'd been there, but something told me she'd been there quite a while, possibly all night. I didn't bother screaming, though I was afraid. Anger trumped any fear I felt at that moment. I jumped up from the couch and pounded my palm against the glass. Lynn, are you crazy? What the heck is wrong with you? Just go home, I shouted. Now. She didn't move. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I didn't move. Where did I leave off? I didn't move. Her ghastly expression never changed. She didn't move. Her ghastly expression never changed. If anything, her smile only grew, as if she had never been more elated. I could hear Chris and his wife moving from upstairs, as if Lynn could hear them from her place outside. I could hear Lynn and his wife moving around the stairs. As if Lynn could hear them from her place outside, her head twitched slightly in their direction, and she began to close her mouth slowly. Chris called my name from upstairs, obviously concerned. I turned to see him and his wife Rebecca hurrying down the steps. When I turned back to the window, Lynn was gone. The only sign she'd been there at all was the 2 streaks of drool still dripping down the glass. I tried explaining to Chris and Rebecca about waking up to see Lynn watching me through the window. They were skeptical. Who wouldn't be? Chris and I went outside to the spot in the front of the window, but there were no footprints in the dirt, just a slight indent. Animal, probably, Chris guessed, and I didn't argue. He and Rebecca assumed I dreamt the entire episode, but they didn't understand, and I was too tired to explain to them. I called out of work that day and turned my cell off. I didn't want to face Lynn. Just talking to her was too much for me. At that point, I really started to believe something was irreversibly wrong with her. That no matter what promises she made, we'd never be the same again. The thought saddened me to my core. I cried most of the morning. By noon, I figured I was ready to confront her, give her one last chance to explain herself. I could at least give her that after 6 years, I told myself. I turned my phone on and saw the dozens of texts she'd sent me, all from a seemingly concerned wife. Can we talk? I love you. Please call me. I'm really worried. Can you answer? Just come home. And more of the same, all texts telling me she loved me and she wanted me home. How worried she was, not a dang one addressing the crazy crap she pulled. Like she hadn't been acting like a character from a Stephen King book. Even the texts were different. She normally texted novels just to tell me to pick up a loaf of bread. You'd think she'd have more to say to me after her bizarre shenanigans. I know it probably seems childish to some of you who are miles away from this situation, but if you saw the way Lynn had looked at me, how she scampered away on all fours like some wild animal, grinning at me from inside the closet like a lunatic, then I think you'd find my reaction was warranted. I ended up staying with Chris and Rebecca for another night. I didn't wake up yesterday until afternoon, and thankfully, I didn't see Lynn's face watching me through the window. I don't want to pry, because it's not my place. But is this fight something that can be mended? Rebecca asked. She made us both a sandwich for lunch, and I knew she wanted to breach the subject without seeming to be nosy. I don't know. She's like a different person, I said, choosing my words carefully. I still wasn't ready for her or Chris to know the full extent of the bat crap craziness I had been dealing with. People change, Ben, but she's still the same woman you married. Maybe you both just need to talk through your issues, whatever's going on. I'm sure it can be fixed, she said, ever the peacemaker. I think it's beyond that now. I don't think talking would help. I just don't trust her, I said. The words stung in my heart. I missed and loved my wife, but how could I live with someone like that, living in constant fear that didn't sound too appealing? Lynn loves you. She has to be absolutely crushed, she said. I don't know about that, I said. Well, she certainly seemed like it to me. I've never seen her so upset. Very much unlike Lynn I know. Very much unlike the Lynn I know, Rebecca said, shaking her head sadly. It took a full minute for her words to really sink in, and what they did. And when they did, I felt dread worming its way through my skin. Wait, what do you mean? You saw her? You saw Lynn? I asked, my mouth suddenly dry. Mine is too. I'm reading all this stuff. Rebecca nodded casually as if the fact wasn't nightmare fuel. Maybe for her it wasn't. She stopped by this morning, just after Chris left for work, she said, cleaning the plates from the table. I didn't see her car, though. Maybe she took an Uber or something. Oh my gosh. Beck, what did she say? Did she come inside? I asked, sweat starting to break out of my forehead. I began looking around, examining corners as though a predator lurked behind them. No, she just asked if you were awake. If you were awake yet, and I said that you weren't. I asked if she wanted me to wake you, but she said no, just to let you sleep. She said as she washed the dishes. That's all. She didn't say anything else? I asked. No. She looked awful, though, like she hadn't slept in days. I think you should call her. I got up from the table and thanked Rebecca for lunch. I felt a little bit better at the knowledge that at least she hadn't come inside. Still, I needed to double check that the doors were locked. I sat for a while trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't want to go home, but I felt that I owed it to Lynn to help her if I could. Hadn't I swore an oath to love and honor her through sickness and in health? Clearly she was very sick. If she was sick, which I truly believe she was, I had to try and get her the help she needed. But I didn't even know where to start. I didn't want to call the police, and besides, what the heck was I going to tell them? That my wife was peeking at me? That she was being creepy? As bizarre as she'd been, she still hadn't committed any crime. Not yet, anyway. The police would have probably said that I was overreacting, but this wasn't some prank. It felt wrong. Dangerous, even. How much is left? Holy cow. Where were we at? Dangerous, even, like something sinister lurked behind her smile. I knew as her husband I was well within my rights, golly, my rights to have her committed. But what if she simply acted normal in their presence? She'd obviously been able to fool Rebecca into thinking she was just a concerned wife. As long as the doctors didn't find her a danger to herself or others, they'd have no choices but to release her after 72 hours. I felt lost and overwhelmed. So I did what any husband in my position would do. I called her mother. I didn't want to, believe me. Her mother, Marianne, and I were never on the best terms. We'd never fought or anything like that. We'd never fought or anything like that. She just wasn't a very warm person and wasn't really easy to get along with. She hardly ever smiled, and when she did, only her lips would move into a thin-lipped smile, leaving her eyes as blank as before. She gave off this aura that felt like she was permanently on the offensive. I'd only met her twice, and both times were for such short visits. I got the impression that she didn't approve of me for her daughter. Lynn always ushered us out quickly, as she didn't want me to feel uncomfortable when I was, which I was grateful for. Being in her mother's company felt almost unbearable, like walking on glass. I was glad when we moved 3 states away, so we didn't have to see her often. I was happy to avoid the woman, but I needed her help. I really didn't want to talk to her at all, but I had to talk to someone, and someone who knew Lynn here. You sent me a rose? What does sending a rose mean? Don't you have to pay for that stuff? Well, thank you for the rose. 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 I really didn't want to talk to her at all, but I had to talk to someone. And someone who knew Lynn better than I did. So I grit my teeth and did what I had to. Yes, she answered, already sounding irritated. Marianne, it's me, Ben. Do you have a minute to talk? I asked. I could hear her cluck her tongue in irritation. I'm in the middle of writing some checks, but if you insist, I suppose I can spare a moment. What is it that you want to discuss, Benjamin? She said coolly. It's about Lynn. She's been acting strangely, and I was wondering if you had any idea whether there was something. I was quickly interrupted. It's a bit difficult to follow your rambling, Benjamin. What is that you want from me? She asked. I could almost see her standing there in her thin sweater and slacks, tapping her fingernails impatiently on the table. I wanted to know if you'd ever noticed any odd behavior, or possibly any mental health issues, I asked. There was a long, uncomfortable pause that I couldn't tell was because she was thinking or something else. Finally, after a few seconds, she spoke. I'm not sure if this is one of your jokes, Benjamin, but if so, I don't find the humor in it. Now, I do have business to attend to, as I've said, so if you don't mind, she said, but I cut her off before she could get rid of me. Marianne, it's not a joke. I'm sincerely concerned about Lynn's mental health. Her behavior has been very erratic lately. I'm very worried about her, and I figured as her mother, you would be as well, I said, my frustration evident in my voice. If you're truly concerned, then I suggest you get the health professionals involved. I don't know what you expect of me, she snapped. I could tell she was seconds away from hanging up, and for some reason I was desperate not to let her. I had the feeling that she knew a lot more than she was letting on. Please, if not for me, do it for Lynn, I tried. I heard a faint, shaky intake of breath, as if she were trying to hold her steely persona together but failing. Marianne? What's... I started. Benjamin, I don't know what to tell you. My only advice would be to seek professional help. Do not call her again. Do not call here again, sorry. Goodbye. I tried to call out to her, but she hung up. I tried to wrap my head around the call and her refusal to help me. Even if she didn't like me, why wouldn't she want to help her own daughter? I couldn't understand that. I tried to replay the conversation, desperate to find something I missed. After a while, I almost gave up, until I remembered her last words to me. Seek professional help. She'd said those words with a bit of urgency. I could have just been grasping at straws, but no, I was sure her voice had changed ever so slightly when she said that, as if they were very important. What had she meant? I assumed she'd been referring to medical professionals, but maybe she was referring to someone else, someone that she didn't, for some reason, feel comfortable saying directly. Or maybe I was just desperate. I waited for Chris to get home, and after a very long and exhausting conversation with him and Rebecca, I convinced them that Lynn truly needed psychiatric help. I didn't tell them everything. I wasn't prepared to go into it yet, but I told them about our last encounter, how she'd hidden in the bathroom peeking at me from the closet. They were obviously shocked, but thankfully they believed me. They too just wanted to help her. Still, they didn't think it was all that serious. Weird, maybe, but not dangerous. They just kept saying that Lynn had to be playing some kind of weird joke. Maybe for YouTube, Rebecca offered, if only half-heartedly. Chris didn't think we should involve the police just yet. He offered instead to go with me, and I readily accepted. He reasoned that calmly talking to her, trying to coax her into going willingly, was the best recourse. I agreed to do this his way. At least I wouldn't be going into that house alone. We drove over this morning just after breakfast. There was no way I was going at night. When we pulled into the driveway, my stomach began doing somersaults. Her car wasn't there, but I still didn't let my guard down. The front door was ajar, and for a split second I thought we'd see her eyes staring through the gap. I was shaking and starting to sweat. Chris, however, was fine. He waited for me to open the door, his hands in his pockets like he was going to an effing stroll through the park. I envied his ignorance. I pushed the door open and was immediately hit with the stench of rot. Oh no. What? Golly. I don't know. Like, so to me, right? We need a cleansing after this. I need a true Jesus is amazing story. Yeah. Like, right. Like, truly. This is crazy to me because he said her car wasn't there and the door was ajar. So like how he left it, right? She had been off to a friend's house, so he was thinking this couldn't be her. So when he left, right, she wasn't there. Her car wasn't there, like, so I'm just assuming that, like, I don't know. I pushed the door open and was immediately hit with the stench of rot. Chris smelled it too, and he walked in the house behind me with his nose scrunched up. What do you guys use to clean the floors around here? Crap. Crap. Oh, he's asking a question. What do you guys use to clean the floors around here? Crap? Chris mumbled. Shut up, I said, my eyes darting around for any signs of Lynn. The house was deadly quiet and dark despite being 10 in the morning. All the curtains were closed up tight, refusing to allow any sunlight inside. If I hadn't left it just 2 days prior, if I hadn't left it just 2 days prior, I'd have thought the house to be abandoned. We moved through each room, carefully checking any place that she might hide, occasionally calling her name. Why the F are you looking under the couch? Chris asked Chris asked eventually. Aren't you looking for your wife? He was looking at me like I was a moron. Let's just go upstairs, I whispered. He shook his head but followed me up the stairs to check the bathroom and spare bedroom. On the way up, my shoes crunched over pieces of glass that looked to be littered over a few of the steps. I noticed that one of Lynn and my wedding portraits that hung on the wall along the staircase had been smashed. The frame hung crookedly, all the glass removed. I stared at the picture, a lump forming in my throat. We had taken the photo just after leaving the church, after saying our vows. She looked so beautiful in her white gown. I looked at Lynn's beautiful face. I never dreamed her face would ever be a source of terror for me. We climbed the rest of the steps and checked the spare bedroom, but it looked completely untouched. I was hesitant to go into the bathroom, my fear from that night coming back to me all at once. Chris noticed and offered to go in by himself, but I couldn't let him do that. So we walked in together, checking the closet and the shower. The bathroom looked as if it hadn't been touched since the night I left. I don't think she's here, Ben. Why don't you pack some clothes and we'll try coming back tomorrow or something? Chris said. I nodded and went into our bedroom and shoved some clothes into a duffel bag. When I checked inside our closet, I came across the source of the smell and gagged. Chris took one look and lost all color in his face. He had to go stand by the stairs and get away from the sight and smell. I gazed down in shock at what lay inside my bedroom closet, soaking into the rug, where at least a dozen eyeballs, all carefully laid out in pairs. Some were as large as a quarter, while others were as tiny as a marble. I stared down at the eyes she'd collected from small animals, and I wondered how she'd gotten them, and shuddered at the thought. Man, I thought I had it bad with Becca's shoe addiction. But F me, your wife's in here collecting eyeballs, Chris said, gagging. Ben, I think we should go, he called from the hall. I'm getting nauseous. All right, I grabbed my duffel and shut the closet door on my new nightmare. I stepped out into the hall and took a deep breath of air. I could taste the rot on my tongue. Ew. And I couldn't help but gag. Who the F lines up eyeballs in their closet like that? Chris mumbled. I tried to tell you she needed help, I said. She doesn't need help, Ben. She needs a effing exorcist, he said. You coming or what? I can't stand the smell any. His words died in his throat and his eyes grew wide with fear. I didn't ask him why. I could feel it. Someone was watching me, and I didn't think it was the eyes in the closet. I turned around, my eyes slowly scanning the bedroom. Christ, I whispered, as I finally saw what we'd missed. Under the bed, curled on her side, watching us with the excitement of a kid on Christmas morning, was my wife. She held her hands together just under her chin. They were shaking eagerly. Now that she knew she'd been found, I could hear the quiet noises she was making, a sort of hiccuping sound in her throat, as if the excitement was just too much for her. It was unnerving to say the least, wide eyes and the same huge smile. Everything in me told me to run, but I forced it away. This was my wife, no matter how twisted. She was still the woman I married. I had to help her. Lynn, I said softly. She didn't respond, but her head bobbed back and forth in 2 quick movements as if she were nodding. Baby, I just want to help, okay? Can you let me do that? I asked. I had taken a single step forward, approaching her like some kind of dangerous animal. I love you, Lynn, I said softly, taking another step closer. She let a tiny moan escape her wide open mouth, and I had to resist the urge to run. Her shoulders were starting to quiver, and her eyes grew as large as saucers. I crouched down so I could see her better, and immediately saw the blood. Her hands were covered in it. They trembled more the closer I got, as if she was barely able to contain herself. Lynn, are you hurt? You're bleeding, I said. She bobbed her head again, her bloody fingers moving up and down as if playing an invisible piano. They occasionally grazed her chin, leaving smears of blood on her skin. I wanted to recoil in disgust. The smell that was coming off of her was revolting. I could feel the vomit trying to climb up my throat. Her lips were dry and stretched thin, blood seeping between the cracks. I knew she wouldn't come out on her own, but I didn't want to leave her in the state she was in. I scooted closer and reached out to her. The excited hiccuping sounds got louder and her hands shook, fingers flexing. It was then that I could see the blood oozing in between her fingers. Oh my God, Lynn, you're bleeding, I said. Instinctively, I reached out to take her hand before I could even touch her. Her hand sprang towards me. A sharp pain shot through my arm, and I fell back on my butt. My arm burned, and I could see the blood dripping down onto the carpet. I looked back at her in shock and saw her grinning madly, her fingers clutching a large shard of glass. You all right in there? Chris asked me from behind. I turned my head slightly and nodded to him, cradling my arm to my chest. Then I turned back to face Lynn. I saw that her focus had shifted. She wasn't looking at me anymore. She wasn't smiling anymore either. She was staring past me, her eyes glaring at Chris the way a hungry lion might stare at an antelope. Her mouth was still hanging open, but it was twisted into a snarl. I got to my feet and began walking backwards down the hall, afraid to take my eyes off of her. Are you bleeding? Chris asked. The moment the words left his mouth, Lynn started fast scooting out from under the bed, the glass shard still in her fist. Chris, run, go, I yelled. He must have been too afraid to move because a second later I felt my back bump into him. He was still standing at the top of the stairs, staring at the horror that was my wife. Lynn had crawled completely out from under the bed and stood in the bathroom doorway, her face twisted in rage. Her whole body was visibly tense. Blood ran down her fingers and onto the floor. Jesus, Lynn, Chris said. You, playing hide and seek? I reached back and pushed him towards the steps. Move your butt, Chris, I said as quietly but firmly as I could. Lynn bobbed her head in fast, sharp motions and began to grin, stretching her mouth open wider and wider so that her chin seemed to touch her chest. I heard Chris mutter a prayer, and then he was running down the stairs. I stood at the top of the steps, stuck between the love for a woman who clearly needed serious help and self-preservation. I only want to help, I said, choking back tears. Her eyes focused on me once again as she slowly lifted the glass, holding it out in front of her, and then she started sprinting towards me, grinning with utter excitement. Thankfully, My body took over and I flew down the stairs, skipping 2 or 3 at a time. I made it to the front door before I felt her leap onto my back, wrapping her arms around my neck, her open mouth next to my ear so that I could hear those terrible hiccuping sounds up close. I shook her off me, knocking her to the floor. I felt a searing pain in my back as she went, but I tore open the front door and bolted to my car. Chris was standing in the front yard talking on the phone to the police. I didn't say a word. I just ran to my car and jumped in. Chris took the hint and followed me, still on the line with 911. I watched the rearview mirror. Sure, I'd seen her there running after us, but I never did. I went straight to the ER and got 11 stitches in my arm and 3 on my back. The police asked a lot of questions and went back to the house to do a search, but of course Lynn wasn't there. They advised me to stay with a friend or relative for a while and to file a restraining order as soon as I could, but none of those things would matter. Somehow I just knew. I dropped Chris off at home and I went to a motel an hour away. I wanted to put as much distance between me and Lynn as I could. This is where I've been for the past 4 hours. I thought maybe the police would find her. Maybe they'd get her the help she desperately needs. But now I don't think so, because 40 minutes ago I got a text from an unknown number. Just 3 words: "I found you," and a picture attached. The picture was dark and grainy, but I instantly knew what it was. There was no mistaking my wife's eyes. I started typing this out immediately after. I don't know what to do. I'm alone and scared, and I can't help but feel that I'm being watched. Dadgum. Holy cow. My eyes are all out of focus from reading like one distance the whole time. Good Lord. Holy cow. That was a long read. Golly, that took us like 30 minutes. I didn't read slow either. Yeah, that's a long one. I want to know how many word counts that is. That's like a freaking short story, you know? Well, dang. Okay, I got to go to bed. I guess I'm going to try to go to bed now. Possum, thank you, by the way, for sticking around. But also, thank you for not, like, being creepy. No Jesus story? What do you mean Jesus story? What do you want? Like what do you want? I got a Bible here. You know what I kind of think? I just need to get the evil away from me. um let me think. I was going to read, I guess I can read when Jesus read Hold on. Hold, please. I was gonna read this one. Let's read this one. This is how he hit me with Psalm 16 or something, or 23. I was thinking of the one where he talks to where he talks to where he recruits Simon and Andrew from the sea. I don't know why. While walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately they left their nets and followed him. I was wanting the whole story. I guess I don't really know where that's at. You know what I mean? I should know where that's at. Wait, I have a good one. The temptation of Jesus. And Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit in the wilderness for 40 days, being tempted by the devil. And he ate nothing during those days, and when they were ended, he was hungry. The devil said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command this stone to become bread." And Jesus answered him, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone." And the devil took him up and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, and said to him, "To you I will give all this authority and their glory, for it has been delivered to me that I give it to whom I will. For if you then I will worship me. If you then will worship me, it will all be yours." And Jesus answered him, "It is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only shall you what? Oh my gosh. I've been reading out loud too much. You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. And it doesn't help that like the Bible is like literally like old talk. And he took him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone." And Jesus answered him, "It is said, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Also, wait. Is this Jesus? Did we find a moment where Jesus references him as God, himself as God, right? In Luke 4:12. He says, and he took him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. And Jesus answered him, It is said, You shall not put the Lord your God to the test. Okay, never mind. He's talking about putting God to the test by making him save him. And when the devil had ended every temptation, he departed from him until an opportune time. That one, for some reason, I was like, if that lady was possessed, or if that lady did horrible things, the lesson is that you have authority against it. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have to be like that. So okay, well, I love you. Thank you guys for joining. I had a good time. I'm kind of yelling right now so that you can hear me. And I just hope that, hey, there's an AI clanker bot trying to get me to buy views in Twitch. Let's see who can get there first. No clankers in here. No clankers in here. I got him. I got him. The power of the PC. Okay. Thank you. I love you. Good night. I have enjoyed this. I'm happy that I can stream on 3 places now. Bye bye. Have fun. Good night. I love you. God bless.